2 points. First, what is the evidence that the greater the brain activity, the better the performance from an epistemic point of view in general? Because you gave that as one argument, therefore I assume from cognitive neuroscience to trust these markets to a greater degree. Can you go back to the, or maybe also to the Obama thing? So the other point is, when you have a value here, what's the interpretation? Is it that on that day when you have, say, 60%, there's a 60% chance on that day that Obama will win the nomination? That's not clear. It's not an easy interpretation. First, because the probability of a future event, single future event, is not a well-defined notion. You might say still it's from a Bayesian point of view, it might be the optimal bet. But you yourself gave us reason to doubt that, because in fact you're betting not on that day on what will happen on the day of nomination, but what will happen the next day, the value of the future. So you describe what you did yourself. And that gave me a reason to doubt that even if you are from a Bayesian point of view you're optimizing the value of the future the next day and not the probability of Obama getting the nomination.
Right. The thing is, it's not important what I do as an individual trader. What we describe in terms of calibration, like this.
That's just before the match. And it's a series of events fairly repetitive rather than...
Well, that's why, you cannot judge the probability assessment for a single event. That's why we run that on, hundreds of events, like inside Google or on the sports or whatever. So what I do as a trader is not necessarily rational. It's not driven by probability assessments, okay? It's just the emergent property of the market with lots of people like me making assessments which are not probability or rational driven, that emerges to be rational and to reflect the true probability, as we can see in those calibration examples, which work in movies, they work in politics, they work everywhere. Okay, so if you take enough of these events. So it also means that, yes, on any day, you can take these predictions with a grain of salt, okay, because they do change from 20% to 80% over the course of the primary, okay? What it means is that, but if you take the probability assessment on any day of this thing, and you take all the other probability assessments for all the other candidates on the same day, you get, again, a sample of prices which will be calibrated. Okay.
On the brain?
Oh, on the brain thing. So, no, there's no saying that the brain, the more active areas that are in the brain and the smarter you are is stupid, of course, right? I mean, that's not what I'm saying. What I was showing here is that there are specific areas of the brain that get actually increasingly activated or deactivated. Actually, those things get more activated when you consider reward and deactivated when you consider loss, okay? And they get proportionally activated or deactivated to the size of the reward or the loss, okay? I'm just showing that there are different areas of the brain that get involved when you consider a bet and when you're just answering a poll. That's all.
Great. That'll be it for this session.